I really like using the custom pickwalk in Maya for rigging. It's great for antenna and fingers and tails and things like that. Where it becomes a problem is when you want to debug a scene, or even when you're updating a rig and you want to just use regular pickwalking to get back to groups, offset groups and things like that. It doesn't allow you to do that. You can't just turn it off. So when it first came out, I wrote a quick script to just turn off the custom pickwalking, and then also turn it back on. And I've been using that for a while, but I was thinking about it recently, and I was like, you know what? There's got to be a better way, because often what happens is I forget to turn it back on, or or just screw it up in general. And so I kind of stopped using it because I would open up a scene, do a bunch of technical animation, and then the next thing I know, nothing was working. And I was like, oh no, I forgot to turn it back on again. So what I'll do is just show a simple little rig I have here. I'm going to grab the bind joints here and the root joint, and let's bind this. Whoops, wrong thing. And oops, again, wrong thing. Cool. And we'll bind this. And I'll just do it real simple here. I do see that my controls are very small here because the lizard by default is very big, so I'll make those bigger. Oops, I need to show my curves as well. There we go. And to make them easier to see in this demo, I'll just get them some quick colors. And because I can't help it, I'll do that. Cool. So let me go up and I'll show you the hierarchy of this. So basically I have, for each control, I have two groups to go up that are just open groups to do any sort of offsetting with, that I can do anything, and then a zero group to put that control into the right position. My script just did that automatically for me. And then, a joint under each one for controlling the curve that then controls, everything else. So without custom pickwalking, I'm going to go through and pick through every single one of those groups. Now, if you're an animator, you're probably not going to want to do that. And this is why a lot of animators I find don't like using pickwalking, because they'll get stuck in like shape nodes. They'll be like, wait, I don't want a shape node. I want, the control that's below. And that's where the custom pickwalk became really handy. So it's great for animators. And as a rigger or character TD, you just want to make sure that you set it up correctly and that it's working, because if you miss like one spot, it can be a little, confusing. And also, you don't want the animators to know picking up into these offset groups and maybe accidentally moving, or a zero group. Yes, you can lock it out, but I also like to just say, let's give them an easier access. So with the little script I wrote, what I'm going to do is just select these groups or these controls here and say parent order. And now that I have that set, it's going to automatically pick through those controls for me. And like I said, you can't turn it off. So if we take a look at the node editor here, this is that tag here. I'll just do this with it so you can see your control tags. You would think, you could go in here and say, oh, I forgot about that. Does that still work? Oh, it does. Cool. Sorry, I'm geeking out a little bit. I'm going to turn that back on. Where'd it go? Show in proximity. I don't know if you could really ever want this, but I'm going to demo it because it's here. I forgot it did that. I thought, that's funky. I would find that excruciating and a giant pain in the butt. So let me go back to my outliner or my node editor and shut that off. Sorry for the detour. Let's go back to normal. But the point of going in here was you can't turn it off. So if I go in here, unless they fixed it. Oh my god, if they fix this, then this video is done. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one here. I'm going to go to node behavior and say has no effect. Has no effect. Has no effect. Has no effect. Has no effects. Okay, so according to... see, it still works, right? Even though I have those things, since it has no effect, they still affect, right? So that was bothering me from the get-go because I'd open up the scene, I'd want to mess with it, and I couldn't. I'd be like, ugh, I gotta open up the outliner, find the controls. You know, I'd rather just pick walk through and get what I want. So yeah, so I built this little tool, and it says delete all tags. So now what that's gonna do is just turn off and basically delete those connections. If I go back to my outliner here, node editor here, you see I no longer have tags in my scene. And I go back to normal pick walking, and I can hit this reconnect tags, and it'll put them back together for me. Or at least it should. It looks like it didn't do it. Reconnect all tags, please. Had to do it twice. It was a quick script that I wrote a long time ago. What it does do, though, is add this thing called tag parent to the control so I can go find it again. And as you can see, I was having some issues with the script. Maybe that's why I had issues. I have a bug in there somewhere. So I was like, you know what, there's got to be a better way. So like a month ago, I decided to write an override for the pickwalk. And so basically, you know, if you've seen what I've done before, I love pickwalk add. So if I hold down control, I can actually, you know, add to my selection set. So I needed another hotkey, so I'm using shift. If I hold down shift, it actually can override. And now I can actually pick walk through and just do normal pick walking, you know, even to get shape nodes and things like that, like I would normally. For release shift, I'm going to go back to my normal tagging controller stuff so that it'll work that way. And I started using that, and I was like, oh my god, it changed everything for me. I was like, oh, I can debug scenes now without destroying them. And I even went in and added a pickwalk add to this. So if I hold down shift and control, it'll actually go through and connect, grab all those groups for me. So if I was to say grab all these groups, let's say I wanted to lock them, I'll grab my controls there, I'll go up, oops, sorry. Okay, actually we could do it this way, check this out. Control, 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 control. Shift will go up one, shift control will go another, and go another. And now my outliner, I can just say lock them all. And now all those controls are all locked, or those extra offset groups are locked for me. So you can see it's kind of powerful and make things move pretty quickly. So the script I wrote is just called SM pick walk, for lack of a better name. It literally has one function in it called pick. And basically you could do, oops, I should leave that. You basically just give it a direction and add equals true or equals false. So by default, it's false. So if I go into my hotkey editor here and choose custom scripts and go to the pickwalks here and the runtime commands, you can see smpickwalk.pick up. So I don't need to add that add flag there. That'll be fine. And then if I go to the ones with the add node, you can see, or the additive, add equals true, add equals true, add equals true with the directions. And you can set that. How do you set that? I mean, you'll know how to set hotkeys. You don't need to tell you how to do that. So I found that much easier way of working, and it's really helped my workflow. And incidentally, if you're not familiar with Pickwalk, the custom Pickwalk stuff, definitely check it out. It does some really cool stuff. Anything can be a controller, which is kind of cool. So if I go in here and just make a couple cubes, I can select these guys, and using that script I have, I can say parent and order. You could do this as an animator, just in a scene. You can say, you know what, I just want a quick way to arrow through these objects, and now you've got it. You can even do siblings. So if I go in here and do a couple of these guys, so his parent is that. So what we do is take this and say parent and order. Parent, I don't know if set parent works, but cool. So now if I go up, if I go down, I can go left and right between these guys. And like I said, I use pickwalk add, so if I hold down control, I can pick all of them and get them all at the same time to do whatever I want to do. If you're, so if you say you wanted to turn the controllers off while you're working, you can always go in there and turn off controllers in the view. These guys are not controllers yet, so I can go in here and grab these guys, go back to my little tool and say tag as a controller, they're going to go away. So even though I am showing NURBS curves, I'm not showing controllers. And like you said, like you saw, those cubes are gone too. So I go back here and turn controllers back on, they all come back. So it's just another additive way that you can actually hide things. When you're rigging, you can quickly go in there and turn off controllers and see if you accidentally left something on. I find it very helpful. All right, so I hope that helps. And any questions or whatever, let me know.